over Mark Wilson, in which he averaged almost 97. But he's up against a man who's in fine fettle once again. We seem to say that about Jonny Clayton quite a lot, but Clayton did recently land his third PDC title with that win over Gabriel Clemens in the Players' Championship a couple of weeks ago. And he will be a very difficult obstacle to overcome. Rob Malarkey in the chair for this one, and hoping for much better alongside me is Paul Nicholson.
First leg, Jonny to throw first. Game on.
I've got no doubt that this game will deliver better statistics than the last one. I know Ian White is going to be furious with himself about the last performance, and the likelihood is that 95. Ian might be home by the time we've finished the second session tonight. I think he'll just wing his way back.
I mean, before we go too far down the road with this one, I mean, you watched a large part of that match alongside us in the commentary box, and I mean, what would you put that? I was lost for words. I just could not come up with a reason why Ian White played so badly.
Sometimes the timing's just off on certain days. A lot of people say that darts is on the day. Sometimes you wake up and you feel like you could hit it with your eyes closed, any target. But some days the rhythm feels good, but the release is just all wrong, and you can't fix it mid-game. There were very good darts from Ian in that match, but there were just too many bad ones. And ultimately, earlier in the match, because he had so many missed darts at the start, it just became infectious and it became a mental battle.
Well, winning has become fairly infectious for Jonny Clayton of late. Like I say, his success recently in Barnsley was his third PDC title. It was his second Players' Championship crown, and it came almost a year on from his previous PDC title, which of course he won in Austria, which was a year ago.
58.
Yeah, he'll be defending the green jacket really soon. So there won't be any Masters puns in that tournament, I bet.
They should do that. Should go to a little side room, the butler's cabin.
41.
Clayton will have to hand over the green jacket to whoever succeeds him in Austria.
Well, the grass venue is right next to a lake. You could do it at sunset. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Super Ted has made strides in the last couple of years.
Jonny require 129.
Not quite the finished article, but he's definitely trending in the right direction. Jonny's looking for 16 bolt. Good
93.
setup.
Ted, you require 116.
But Evetts himself playing very confidently at the moment. One of only 3 players to have hit more than one perfect leg this 9-dart leg this year.
92. Jonny requires.
Very aware of that as well. Now, double 18 for Jonny. Can he see enough of that bed?
One.
He had to go top left there because he covered the middle.
24.
More missed darts at double at the start of this one.
Don't. Inside on 12s. Not inside on 6s, mercifully.
Second leg, Ted to
and Super Ted breaks for the opener.
Yeah, Jonny Clayton's becoming a lot of players' favourite player. Gary Anderson said for a good few years that he thinks Jonny Clayton's the real deal. Well,
100.
He ain't wrong, because Jonny is not only one of the nicest, funniest and most brilliant guys to hang around with, but he is deadly on the dartboard, and he has this
100
amazing start to 2019 that backs up the last couple of years where he's picked up a victory in each season. But he just is so hard to beat. He doesn't give you anything. That's his biggest acquisition over the last, I think, 2 years. He doesn't give you any ammunition. He doesn't give you any sign of weakness. But when he's flying, he shows you signs of strength.
That said,
59.
I mean, looking at his European record since he won in Graz last year, he not really had a great time of it. He failed to qualify for the European Darts Grand Prix. He was still just outside the top 16 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit at the time. He was a first-round casualty in the Dutch Masters.
96.
Did make the quarters in Jib, but then he had opening match defeats when he was a seed in 4 successive tournaments, and in his last 4 Euro Tour events, he has
100
made it to the 3rd round and no further. So the last 16 has become the order of the day.
He made a joke, actually, after he won in Graz, that he forgot how to win on a Saturday. And then when he won on the Saturday, eventually, he just said, well, now I've unlocked the gate, now I can go and do it.
126.
At the start of this season, if it's anything to go by, I think we can probably get the chalk in the hand, ready for maybe putting that fourth title in the bag. I think it's very likely it will happen in the next 3 to 6 months, as well as potentially Jonny breaking into the top 10 in the world.
Well, where is he now? He's 13th on the Order of Merit, and he's number 6 on the Pro Tour Order of Merit.
There's a bit of fortune for Ted there, because that dart flattened.
They
gave him a lot more room to aim at for that top. The dart was not in the way. Ted's darts usually go in with a little bit of an upright angle, but for some reason that one flattened out and opened up the double top, and he hit it.
97.
It's amazing that Ted's only 21.
I know, he seems to have been around for years as well, that's the thing. He's a bit like Max Hopp in that respect.
Yeah. Well, Max was 16 when
96.
he made his first Euro Tour jaunt over to Newland in the Netherlands, and it feels like he's been around for ages, forever.
55.
And Ted has got that same quality at the minute. We're saying about a lot of young players. You know, Desvan, who had a fabulous day yesterday on the development tour that Ted Evetts leads for the moment in the Order of Merit.
Well, Evetts was the youngest holder
96.
of a PDC Tour card after he came through Q School in January of 2016. So he was only 18 then.
180.
And even though he failed to retain it, he did regain one fairly swiftly. We mentioned it yesterday. He had a double qualification or a double secural of the Tour card via both the Development Tour and the Challenge Tour last year.
99.
And that opened things up for others, didn't it? So
Ted very disappointed with that third dart there, because he got the 19 and the 60. Another 60 would have left him on 170, and he was short. It's a bit like leaving a putt six inches short. You've just got to get the weight right.
122.
Sneak in there. He was very disappointed with that third dart, but it's looking like Jonny Clayton is going to get one back.
$134. Jonny required 47.
well, there's a little bit of pressure here on Clayton with this 47. 16s.
Game strong
job.
the third
Yeah, he'll be relieved with
Jonny
that.
Clayton.
That will settle him down nicely.
He almost left himself double one there, going for 47. He went for the 15. He pulled it slightly and nearly hit the treble. But that wouldn't have been a problem for Jonny, because his favourite double is double one.
99.
It's double two, though.
Yeah, that's the problem. You have to bypass one to get to the other.
I've always said, you know, if you have a favourite double, you've got to be just as good with the other ones, which are in conjunction with it. So if you like 10s, you've got to be good at tops. If you like 6s, you've got to be good at 12s, because the likelihood is you're going to need them. And if you like double 16, you've got to get good at double 8. And with Jonny as the example, if you want to be good at double one, well, you don't really want to use double one. Just ask Ian White.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's already starting to conduct his own post-mortem into that performance.
100.
It's something he'll have to address and maybe watch back, and it might make for unpleasant.
In the bank and forgets about it. But you can see from that camera angle there just
100.
how flat Jonny Clayton's darts enter the board. His best way of attacking the 60 and grouping the darts together is to sneak them over. That's got to be a 180, surely.
180.
You said it.
Jonny required 161.
You called it, Paul, and Ted Evetts brought it home. Finishing.
Fifth leg, Jonny.
Much more like it.
First, game on.
Boy, was that a confident face when he hit that double 16. That's the face of a player who is brimming with confidence right now.
100.
He's in the same sort of boat at the moment, Jonny, as Ross Smith. You know, they've had to juggle the day job, the family, and a vicious schedule of darts. I think Jonny Clayton has got to the
58.
stage now on the brink of getting in the top 10 in the world, where I think darts is going to have to come first.
Yeah, and they'll have to make the jump.
140.
He's got that Terry Jenkins type quality as Jonny Clayton of getting a dart in a treble 20, but I have no idea how. It's almost like it does a triple Lutz and a double Salto on its way in.
180.
Well, that was a direct nosedive into the treble 20 bed with the final dart for Ted Evetts. Finding the spaces.
140.
This one's bubbling up like a very nice soup.
It is nicely warming up, this one, yeah. It's been a much better standard.
I hope everybody at home is enjoying the viewing and have a very happy Easter period.
139. Jonny require 121.
Chosen well to watch this. There's 2-2, and they're very similar in this leg. It could well be 51 for Bull.
97.
So a good leave and
Teddy
forces Evetts to take the 1-2-4. He asks the question again.
Great first start by Evetts. Needs the ball. And finds the ball. And Paul Nicholson alongside me gives Ted Evetts his own ovation. That was a really cool, calm, calculated piece of finishing by Ted Evetts. 1-2-4, beautiful.
And you wonder why everybody likes Jonny Clayton. That bit of respect there is why he understands how good that shot was. That was measured. He set up the shot. He gave himself the opportunity.
139.
And he hit that bullseye. Beautiful, beautiful from what Dan would say, super Ted. I think Jonny Clayton realises how hard this game is going to be for him because Ted is brimming with his own confidence today.
Two 9-dart legs for Ted Evetts this year, as I mentioned at the start of this match, both in the qualifiers for the European Tour. European Tour 1 for Leverkusen qualifying. He pulled one out of the bag there, and again in Wigan for the qualifying for the next European Tour
59.
event for which Ted has qualified. He beat Keegan Brown 6-5 and produced 9 perfect darts in that one as well. Richie Eddhouse and Michael van Gerwen, the only other 2 players this year to produce more than one 9-dart leg. We have had an abundance of them. We've even had 2 on the Euro Tour. And I, for one, think there will be another one this weekend. And not only that, I think there'll be one today. And not only that, I think it will come
98
in the very next match.
94.
And not only that, I think it will come for Nathan Derry.
Mystic Malarkey.
In leg 5 of a 6-3 win. There. I'm just going to throw that out there.
If that comes off, that'll be some prediction.
Nathan Derry threw an abundance of 180s yesterday.
He was amazing, wasn't he? 129 average for his first 9 darts. If he does that again, he wins today, I feel. But Super Ted needing double 10 for a 2-leg gap on the 9th seed. This is turning into a great performance. There's Mark Wilson, who suffered a bit of Super Ted yesterday. Jonny Clayton has questions to answer. This is a game that was always going to be difficult for Jonny. But Ted has turned up today and played some classy stuff.
Yeah, and nice to see Mark Wilson just acknowledging, you know, another player's performance.
100.
I revel in other players being able to do that because I was a bit of a, what in Australia they would call it a suck. Someone
58.
who would, you know, have his tail between his legs and not talk to that player for a matter of days. I still haven't forgiven Benito van der Pas for last year in Saarbrücken.
I knew that was coming.
57.
Yeah, it's good when the players stick around and watch the darts. And not just players, they're fans as well. We saw a lot of the players here last night. Kim Hybrex was high-fiving Diogo Portela when
85.
Glenn Durant got a 170 finish against Jamie Hughes. That is a perfect first dart from Ted Evetts. Power on this third dart will get it in.
100.
And he just used that second dart as a really effective guide, didn't he? Just brushed alongside it.
He's looking for one of the
94.
biggest 6-dart conversions you can have in darts. 3-4-4 in 6. Not going to get it. He did, of course, have 3-4-1 in 6 from Van Gerwen against Cross in the first Euro Tour of the year. He got 171, 170 out. But now Jonny Clayton needs a treble 18. I think Evetts is going to get a shot at this to go 5-2 up.
Well, he took out the 1-2-4, didn't he, not so long ago. He's now looking at 1-1-3. And he's got 56 to go. Just checking with Hugh West. Sensible by Evetts. And he's now looking at tops for a 5-2 lead. And once again, you just have to sit back and acknowledge again what Super Ted is doing. That was another assured-looking, sure-footed finishing. Again, really like that. Took his time, double-checked. Didn't let it derail him, just took it all in his stride. And it was very, very smooth.
You know, there's something very old school about Ted Evetts for me. He's calm, collected up there. He's
60.
Not massively animated. He just gets on with things in a very quiet manner, a very classy manner as well. When he hit that 1-1-3 finish there, you could see he was trying to stay within himself. He actually closed his eyes on the way back and took a big deep breath. That shows amazing maturity for his age.
Well, that's 3 legs without reply now for Evetts.
58.
2 of them with Tumplus checkouts, and he's closing in on a place in the 3rd round
100.
of the German Darts Grand Prix, where he would face either Michael Smith or Ricky Evans.
That'll be a very good game later. Rematch of their World Youth Championship final, which was at the O2 a few years ago. And the way Ted has played this afternoon, those guys are going to be on notice, but you know for a fact that Michael and Ricky are not looking past that game. Could be a bit of a rip-roarer.
140.
Pretty sure Ted's never been to the 3rd round of a Euro Tour event before. He had a couple of first round defeats last year. 2nd round defeat by Chizzy in Leverkusen earlier this year.
100.
He's never beaten Jonny Clayton before, but they've never met before, so don't read too much into that one.
There's a lot of players who haven't beaten Jonny Clayton. This has been a bit of a slightly below par performance for Jonny Clayton in this season. He's been getting a lot of big averages, but when he plays certain players, sometimes you just find a bit of discomfort, and I don't think Johnny's been able to settle into one of his more swift rhythms. He's been searching for scores. 85 left. Excellent darts from Jonny Clayton. This 1-4-2, we saw one from Stephen Bunting yesterday against Chuck Norris. Is he going to go the same route? He is. He needs another one of those for tops. Treble 14 will be the target now.
82. Jonny required 40.
Well, no margin for error here for Jonny Clayton, and there may just well be
20.
3 errors for the number 9 seed, and we could be on the verge of losing another seeded player. Ian White has already gone. Jonny Clayton is staring into the abyss because Ted Evetts is looking for double 20 for a place in the 3rd round here in Munich, and that is exactly what he has got. He's won 4 legs on the spin, thanks in large to 2 very impressive Tumplers.